Yo, what's up everybody? This is Killer Beat. Thanks for tuning in. Watching a 1v1 game, Nicov v Lyx. Hey, by the way, I'm back. A little bit of a hiatus there. Moved countries, but I'm back to casting some games here on the old YouTube. Still getting Twitch ready. Keep an eye out for me on there, but for now, I don't have the connection that I need to stream on Twitch. So anyway, let's start this game off. Japanese v Japanese, Nicov v Lyx. This is a set of 3. Game number 1 was won by Lyx. It was a broken game, so I'm not going to stream it, but it was Japanese, and it was a very long and exciting game. Hopefully you guys check out the recs on that. This is game number 2, the rematch. Nicov probably wanting to get revenge for losing game number 1. Okay, so Lyx here will be playing in red. Lyx is going to have a pretty wallable front of his map, or rather side of his map here. This is pretty nice. Lots of woodline structure, already building a house out on the front. I think he can really do whatever he wants to do with this. He can certainly block in 2 flanks very easily. Main goal to the side seems to have several good woodlines, especially this one here. Stone on this hill is a little ugly, but if he can wall across the top of it, man, I can't complain at all about this map. This is pretty darn good. I like it so far. Japanese player should be able to take deer in the back as well. So a very easily wallable map, good gold, and good food on the map here for Lyx. So right off the bat, I'm thinking Lyx might have an advantage, but let's see. Nicov on his side will be playing in blue. Looks like he will have his main gold off the side, main stone on the front. Another map that could be structured pretty nicely. He could probably wall in this front flank pretty easy and this side pretty easy, keeping those golds and stone relatively safe. Nikov's northern section is a lot less wallable, so I think he's going to have to play a little more open than his opponent. But hey, I guess we'll see. 2 vills on wood at the lumber camp. Nikov's going to maybe take advantage of those cheaper buildings and build another lumber camp here early. Suppose we will wait and see for that. For now, just luring in his boars. Actually, very aggressively scouting here is Nicov. That is maybe noteworthy. I suppose we'll see here in just a moment. Gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Yeah, it looks like Nicov is forward very early, checking out what Lyx is up to. Japanese, not a bad civ at all to go with a drush to men-at-arms. So maybe we will see that here. Anyway, Nicov might be laming. That's the only reason I'm watching his scouts so carefully. Lyx is just happily roaming around on his side of the map, trying to figure out exactly how to skin this particular cat. Yeah, it looks like Nicov will be roaming around, maybe looking for something to lame, and I think he's going to find this boar if he wants it. He's not much of a lamer. Doesn't surprise me at all if he doesn't turn around. Yeah, Nikov's just going to find that boar and keep going forward. Okay, so Nicov circling around doing some really early scouting. Lyx just now finding his last 2 sheep. That's actually pretty fortunate. Nicov could have found those. Like I said, Nikov's not really a lamer. He probably would have given it back. But yeah, you know, always better to be safe. Anyway, continued house wall being built up by Lyx to block off the front here. Looks like Nicov is probably going to discover that here pretty early. Yeah, he's going to identify not only his opponent's resources, it looks like he's also going to be able to identify how wallable this map is. Nikov's going to have to, I would imagine Nicov is anticipating Lyx walling this game. Anyway, 2 vills on each lumber camp for now for Nicov. That is 4 on wood early. Potentially going to see a drush out of him. He's doing some walling of his own here, some house walling. Looks like he will block in that top flank, like we maybe assumed that he would. Nonetheless, Nicov grabbing a sheep early, getting some good forward scouting going early on in this game. Lyx is just now starting to come forward, and unfortunately for Lyx, he's going to the wrong part of the map. Yeah, he'll circle his way around. Eventually, he will find Nicov. But Nikov's going to know everything about what Lyx is working with. He knows about the first woodline. He knows about the second woodline. He knows about the berries. He knows about every single thing. He even knows where those boars were. He could have lamed that boar if he wanted to. Lame that villager, rather. Anyway, we will work our way through this one. Like I said, I'm working here with a new setup and a new country, so things are a little bit clunky. My apologies for that. I think that I can still do some of the main functions here that a caster should be able to do. Should be able to speed up the game and keep the camera pointed in the right place. Anyway, looks like Lyx is now just finding out what Nicov is working with. And I suppose, yeah, we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Sorry about that. Working with a laptop over here, guys. Looks like from Lyx's point of view, he knows where the TC is. He's found the 2 wood lines. He's found the main gold. And he's going to identify what Nikov's up to. Looks like it's pretty clear that Nicov might block in that front side. These berries are relatively, they're actually quite open, quite rateable. We'll see what Lyx is going to do. Let's look at the resources here. Lyx at the moment is on 20 vills, loomed up early to grab that boar. Nicov looming up as we speak. Nikov's on 21. He's probably ready to click up to feudal. Looks like Lyx will be a couple of villagers behind, at least one more villager coming, maybe more. This could be a wall fast castle map for Lyx, already going to send out a villager to put more and more structure up. But it's not that easy of a map to wall. I think he'd be kind of silly to go 27 up, but hey, who cares what I think? For now, Lyx will idle the TC for a moment. No, that's a feudal age click up. Okay, good. So 22 vills for Lyx, 21 for Nicov. Not a greedy strategy at all for Lyx. I didn't know if he might go up on 23 or more with a little bit more walling, but it looks like he will go up to feudal at a really respectable time. Nicov with 3 on gold early. He's going to have a couple palisades around both the gold piles and the berries. Barracks is up. I'm assuming that barracks for now is just kind of chilling. Yeah, not queuing up any militia, walling toward the TC here. Could create a pocket here pretty darn quickly if he was getting raided. So Nicov playing a pretty nice, tight game so far. It's got to be archers, I would think, with 3 on gold. Japanese archers, definitely a good choice. Barracks coming up now for Lyx. A little bit more walling. That extra villager that the red player made here has been really just walling. Let's consider this the extra vill. He's just walking around dropping palisades. Other vills have done a little walling, but they are also building useful buildings. So we'll see. Anyway, 3 on gold for Lyx as well. Potentially going to be able to drop a couple archers. But this could still be a pretty quick castle build. You know, you usually see more villagers in a fast castle, but the amount of walling that the red player has done here might mean that there's not going to be a whole lot of unit production. Anyway, Nicov hits the feudal age. He's going to go double ranges right off the bat. Still 3 vills on gold, but the rally point is over to gold, so we could see double range archers here. For the duration of the feudal age, looks like his opponent will drop an archery range back at home behind the walls, so Nicov won't know about it just yet. Unfortunately, this gold pile not really protected at all yet. Everything else is slowly being walled in. Lyx is dropping palisades on each and every flank, doing a pretty good job to block in that left side, but the right side near this main gold, near this wood line, is really quite open still. Not exactly sure how the red player is going to defend that. Suppose we'll wait and see. I mean, there is a nice wall that can be made here, but that is a long distance away from the TC. You wouldn't want your villager getting caught there, and Lyx does not know how easy this wall would be. Not yet. We'll see if Lyx can scout that side a little bit better and maybe save himself some resources. No, it's going to be double range archers for the red player as well. So no greedy strategy thus far. Looks like the red player is not going to try to go quickly to castle. He's going to keep his opponent honest with double range archers. Nicov for now pumping out mostly archers, probably adding in a skirm due to a lack of gold, but I suppose that is speculation. Nobody likes speculation, do they? Okay, blacksmith is up for Nicov. 6 or 7, 6 vills on gold for him. Looks like he will have +1 archers roaming forward. His opponent will not have the upgrades yet. I don't think he has a blacksmith yet. I didn't see it. So no blacksmith yet for the red player, and he's building archers, which is interesting. Building skirms here would have been more obvious to me if he was playing a little bit of a defensive boom-up sort of game, but hey, who cares what I think? That first archer will roam forward. Yeah, this vill is coming out to do some walling. Let's see what Lyx tries to do here. This is a greedy play. He's got to get out of there, right? Looks like he will get out of dodge. He's in trouble now, man. Nicov is going to send an army through that side before it can be walled up. That's the difficulty when you have to walk so far away from your TC to wall. Your opponent might be there before you are. Okay, Nicov will run in with the scout. He's going to put some heat on. Looks like Lyx will go double range skirmishers now. I think that would have been a good move a little earlier if he knew about Nikov's archers. Maybe he didn't know. Anyway, for now, it looks like Lyx can maybe win the day. It's going to be tough. This scout is really, it's on relatively high HP. It's really going to chop through a lot of skirms. Lyx here having to commit villagers to this fight, question mark? Not really. He's committing a villager to this fight, a low HP villager too. That vill could go down so easy. It's very surprising to me that Nicov did not identify that vill was on 10 HP. He is really, really good at keeping an eye on those things. Anyway, for the moment, that scout is still wreaking absolute havoc on skirmishers. That scout probably killed 4 skirms, but at least for now, Nicov will return home. So Lyx having to send a few villagers in, losing, maybe annoyed at his gold pile for a moment. 33 vills for each player. Lyx on 128, food 100 gold. Nicov is not quite, he does not quite have that much in his resource pile, but he does have +1, and he is still cranking out double range archers. So Nikov's got the better army. Lyx is got +1/+1. Where is the... I suppose it doesn't matter where the blacksmith is. Blacksmith dropped on the other flank. Looks like Lyx for now will try to defend with a couple of skirms here. 5 vills moving from this wood line. Maybe they're going to drop an alternative wood line. Looks like they will on the other side of the map. Okay, so for now, Lyx has parried the initial blow, but he feels like he's a little bit behind here. He's 10 military behind. His resource count is going to be higher. He's going to be able to go to castle soon, but he's going to have to survive the next onslaught from Nicov. Looks like for now he can do that. Plenty of skirms here to deter these archers. Plenty of upgrades for the red player. Nicov does not have defensive upgrades yet. Okay, so Lyx playing quite defensively here early on, but has defended himself pretty nicely. I think he'll go on to the castle age here soon in a pretty decent position. Is that true? That he has 0 food? Okay, grabbing wheelbarrow. Has the gold to go up, but does not have anywhere close to the food. Only working on 6 farms for the moment. All right, well, how about that for me being instantly wrong? Insta-wrong. But he can grab wheelbarrow, and I do think he'll be up soon. Nicov farming much more intensively than his opponent. So Nicov may beat Lyx up to the next age, even though he's invested a lot more in his military. Okay, so for now, these two players working their way up. Both guys are kind of defensive now. Nicov pulling his entire army back. He's going to hang out back at home. As far as the middle ground goes, there really aren't any major hills here. So when the castles do come, and I think they will come relatively soon, I don't think they're going to be positioned in beautiful spots. Like here, there is a pinch point, and there are some minor hills, but there isn't like a great put a castle here type of hill. So I guess we'll wait and see for a moment. Nicov on 400 food, couple hundred gold, bringing his army home, 5 military units ahead, but he has now gone into some rather extensive walling of his own. Still no defensive upgrade for Nicov. Looks like he's going to save that food to get to the next age. All right, let's see what's up with Mr. Lyx here. Lyx is a bit behind on food. Grabbing deer on the side has walled out some of that deer patch. Has dropped several more farms here, but not really enough to catch Nicov, I wouldn't think. So, for the moment, a little bit of walling, a little bit of booming. We might as well speed our way through this one a little bit faster. Both guys playing this one, well, not defensively. I mean, Nikov's been on the offensive all game, but now he's identified that Lyx is pretty much going to parry any blows in the feudal age. So it's time to go up to the next age, adjust the strategy, and try again. Anyway, in the meantime, what do we have? It looks like Nicov for now continuing archery range unit production. Lyx on the other side, double range archers as well. Nicov clicking to castle at 2038. Lyx is going to be a bit behind, not that far. Having to build some skirms there, I suppose, really would have slowed down Lyx's food eco. Although the total number is lower, he's probably got more skirmishers. Also built his farms a little bit later than Nicov. So Nicov on the way to castle, grabbing padded archer, grabbing gold mining, gonna upgrade those archers as we move toward the castle age. Soon they'll be crossbowmen, soon they will be even beefier than they are now. Okay. So units roaming across the map. We're at 70%, but let's move a little faster here, guys. Castle age upgrade coming. Lyx starting to roam forward, seeing if he can find a place to maybe push on his opponent. Oh boy, we might see 2 armies bump into each other here. Not quite. Nikov's army is going to leave as Lyx's army comes in. That's very interesting. Lyx here is going to basically walk right up to one of the more fortified parts of Nikov's base, and that's going to give Nicov a chance to turn around if he wants to. Question is, does he want to? Like I said, this area is pretty fortified. Some secondary walling here is really going to stop this army for quite some time. It's going to take archers and skirms a very long time to get through these couple palisades and houses. So Nikov's not going to turn around. He's going to build a forward siege workshop. He's going to go crossbowman, bodkin arrow, and bowsaw as he hits the castle age here. And this is probably going to go quite well for him because Lyx has accidentally, I would assume accidentally, left a hole in the wall. There's always a freaking hole in the wall. So Nicov doesn't even need that siege to get in and do some initial raiding. A couple villagers ahead of Lyx already. Going to walk into some TC arrow fire here. But I think he's content with doing that to grab a vill or two. Looks like he'll get 2 villagers down. So crossbows from Nicov, taking a little damage from that TC, but grabbing a few vills, keeping the pressure on. Lyx will turn that army around. Nicov would do really well to drop a mangonel here first. I'd have to assume it's going to be a mango. No, it's going to be a battering ram first. Okay. Fine by me. Nicov with the tech advantage, but his opponent has hit the castle age. Lyx is going to go elite skirm, bodkin arrow, and crossbowman. So going to spend a bit of resource on elite skirm, but he kind of has to. You have to be able to defend yourself. This army is something he needs to be able to stop. It's at least how I feel about it. So Lyx here continuing to play a very defensive game. Defensive siege workshop coming up for the red player. He's going to need a mangonel for sure immediately. Nicov actually canceling his mango for now. Lyx's army kind of waiting in the wings for their moment to strike. So it looks like for the time being, Nikov's going to knock down a couple of free buildings here on the front. He's going to be a little bit behind Lyx from a standpoint of military numbers. Lyx actually has a pretty good pincer set up here. Nicov would have done really well to have a mangonel. But Lyx will have a small army with elite skirms included coming from one side and a small army coming from the other. And the question is going to be, does he have the critical mass to get the job done? I would think he probably will, because he's going to have reinforcing elite skirms. He's now got a mango out on the field. This could go really well for him. Nicov here he's done some good damage. He does have a mangonel out. That's a big plus for him. He's going to pull his army back in time before he gets truly pincered. This whole first army is not going to quite make it to the battle just yet. So Lyx really, I guess in my mind, I was hoping he would have a beautiful pincer here and he would have a good chance to turn the game around. But mostly he just gets a ram, not really for free. He lost a building for that ram. And it will still be very close military numbers for now. Nikov's military, of course, much more offensive. Lyx's military is a lot of elite skirmishers, especially back here at home. Quite a lot of elite skirmishers now. University coming down for the red player. He's also working his way into Nikov's eco. Split a little army off. Nicov building up a 3rd TC as we speak. And Lyx will run in here and do some damage. I love it. Didn't see that army get split off from the main group. But absolutely a good move on his part. Nicov will send some units back to crush the insurrection here. Not sure this is enough units to win the fight, but I thought he might send a few more. The bigger your army is, the better they're going to crush a small army. But nonetheless, those two groups will trade blows, and Nicov will clean that up here eventually. Okay, so Nicov cranking out villagers on 3 TCs. Lyx back at home dropping a TC as we speak. Has 3 TCs building, well, 2 more TCs building as we speak. A little mangonel war going on. Don't get caught up in the crossfire here. Nicov having 1 villager close by to repair. He's going to be, so far, 2-2 on the mangonel fight. Looks like he will actually be 3-2. He's going to win that fight. Crossbowman taking down the 3rd mangonel from Lyx. So Nicov with a bit of an advantage here, and I think he killed an archery range that was hanging out right here. I'm actually quite certain he did. So Nicov getting buildings now, winning the mangonel war, starting to look like he's winning the unit war. His military is 1 smaller than his opponent, but like I said, he has a lot more potential damage than his opponent. Those 2 mangonels and all those crossbows are really much more effective at killing villagers and killing buildings. Anyway, villager here is still forward from the initial build, just dropping houses, and he's going to be in the vicinity to repair these mangoes if they do get damaged. All right, so for the moment, Nicov absolutely in the driver's seat in this game. Did trade another mangonel there, but he's still cranking them out. He's still going to be 2 ahead of his opponent. I guess he's done taking these free buildings on the front. He's going to start circling around. Meanwhile, back at home, back in the dungeon lair, Nicov getting kind of raided. Not really. He's got his 3 TCs here, all triangulated so that they can drop down quite a lot of arrow fire. Nicov will lose quite a bit of farming idle time here. That military from Lyx wisely going straight to the back of this eco. They're going to grab a vill or 2, but more importantly, they're going to idle 14, 16, 18 villagers from Nicov. So Nicov trying to build like a phalanx here of TCs to deter his opponent. But since Lyx has those super arrow resistant elite skirms, he's just decided to walk through that initial phalanx and hit the back of Nikov's eco. So that's a little bit annoying. I think Nicov might be sending, yeah, it looks like he's going to send a mangonel back to take care of this. So Lyx is doing enough to stay in this game for sure. He's certainly behind. But at least for now, Lyx is still a viable opponent. Nikov's going to have to dodge a couple mangonel shots for now. At least a good split on that particular occasion. It looks like he'll mostly keep this army alive for the moment. Grabbing a mangonel there from Lyx, very important. Hard to dodge 2 mangonels at the same time, but 1 is pretty easy for these guys anyway. Villager in doing some repairs. Looks like there's going to be a little battle here for that ground. Meanwhile, Lyx is hanging out in the back of Nikov's eco. Not a ton of units there to do damage, mostly just skirms there to annoy and idle. Looks like that battle on the front line has turned into a retreat from Nicov. He's trying to take down the siege workshop from Lyx if he can. Nicov just grabbing so many buildings and wasting so much of Lyx's resource. Nicov floating quite a lot of gold at the moment. Lyx is floating a whole lot more gold. Holy cow, Lyx has 1,400 gold. Sweet baby Jesus. Keeping 1, 2, 3 TCs going. Building another siege workshop in the back. So Lyx certainly having some resources to fight with here. Looks like his little army in the back will get cleaned up. Nikov's got a little bit of a clandestine wood line for the moment. On the side of his map. Let's see, Mangonel's going 1 for 1. At least for now, Nicov seems to be ahead in this game, seems to be in the driver's seat of this game, but certainly not delivering the knockout blow. There's been no cause for a GG yet. Nicov here is going to lose a mangonel probably. Yep, loses a mangonel there, full free. Another mangonel, ooh, that's a decent shot. Got a couple archers down there, and will be able to retreat in time to repair up this mango. So a very, very nice defense from Lyx, keeping his opponent very busy there on the front line. Villager counts right now, +4 for Lyx. Gotta give Lyx some props here. Been in defense for a long time, lost quite a few buildings, lost quite a lot of resource in having to rebuild those buildings. But at least for now, certainly has a good chance at keeping Nicov honest here. I don't feel like he's in a position to win this game yet. 2 for 1 mangonel trade there for Nicov. But he's certainly got an opportunity. It's not over. It ain't over until it's over. Okay, so that fight on the front rages on and continues. Double mangonel still pushing on this siege workshop. We'll speed this up a little bit. Lyx is trying to roll these mangonels in and surprise his opponent, and so far he's gotten a couple of free mangonels by doing that. Siege workshop on 160 HP though, and Nicov might be able to get it. We'll see. Lyx has the resource to repair, but he's kind of given up on repairing it. And it looks like that siege workshop will go down. Okay, Lyx is going to go up to the Imperial Age. 1 monk from Nicov in play, putting a little bit of heat on that mango. Seems like it might have been deleted. Nicov will drop an outpost on the front. Great to drop an outpost like that when you're in a mangonel fight. Never bring a knife to a gunfight. Always bring an outpost to a mangonel fight. Always good to have that extra line of sight. Nikov's going to see any mangoes that Lyx is trying to sneak up on Nicov with. Outpost line of sight is going to help Nicov a lot here. Anyway, Lyx still hanging out in defense, dropping a monastery of his own, heavily on stone. Oh boy, and so is Nicov. Nicov has 650 stone, ready to drop the castle somewhere. Let's see if we can find out where that castle is going to go. Keep an eye on the blue dots, see where those villagers head to. Lyx's castle, Lyx is up to imp, so he might be a little slower to a castle. Let's see. 100 stone in the bank for the red player. Do not believe he's built a castle yet. But Lyx will, yeah, he'll be imp first. He'll be building a castle second. Sanctity coming for both players. So we've got monk upgrades working their way in. Archery ranges being dropped from Lyx. These are archery ranges that were destroyed. He's going to be on 3 ranges here in a moment. And he's lost, unfortunately, he's lost 2. Lost 2 ranges, lost a siege workshop, couple of houses. Very, very tough start for Lyx. Maybe about to lose a TC here. Yeah, that is really unfortunate. Trying to bring these villagers back from gathering stone to save that TC. And that is a huge, huge moment for Nicov. Lyx put his resources into going imp, and Nicov is putting his resources into offense. Nikov's not going to get greedy with this castle. I thought he might have gone a little closer, but he's going to take this hill advantage. He's going to solidify his forward, and that's a really nice position to protect this gold. That's how you sound smart as a caster. Just agree with whatever the pros are doing. Anyway, for the moment, Nikov's army here is really well built. It's going to be very difficult for Lyx to crack this nut. A couple of monks, or yeah, 2-3 monks there. 5 mangonels, quite a few crossbows for Nicov as well. His main army here is really difficult to sneak up on with what is essentially elite skirmishers and 1 monk. This is going to go really, it's going to be a difficult game for Lyx to pull back now. So Nicov with the early aggression, grabbing a few vills, idling some vills, gets the castle age first, gets crossbow first, continues to kill villagers and put heat on, and now he's knocking down the front door with mangonels. Gonna lose a mangonel there to conversion, gonna kill one of his own mangonels and that mangonel together. So Nicov losing 2 mangonels there for free, just for a little bit of monk mojo. But nonetheless, well, you know what? Lyx is probably going to clean this up now. Shouldn't say nonetheless. I was going to say nonetheless he's rolling, but that's not true anymore. Lyx here does have a chance. Fighting uphill is going to have to dodge a couple mangonel shots. He's going to have to play this really nicely. But Nicov is going to, yeah, he's going to lose 2 more mangoes to Lyx. Sweet baby Jesus. Lyx absolutely converting the pants off of Nikov's mangonels. Holy cow. Okay, so this game that was about to be over is no longer about to be over. Lyx able to not only save this TC, but to take basically all of Nikov's useful gold units there. Killed the monks, I think. Killed the mangonels as well. Really bad engagement for Nicov. I didn't see it coming. I can't blame him for not seeing it coming either. Anyway, Lyx will drop a siege workshop here in defense. Looks like Nicov is adding in more and more archery ranges. Imperial Age coming for Nicov as we speak. Looks like we will see the red player there already. So Lyx's imp, he's got a lot of wood and he's got a lot of food in the bank. I don't know if he ever did get enough stone to build a castle. So Lyx for now having to focus on building some monks and mangoes in defense. Does not really seem to have a discernible strategy. Gonna go bracer, gonna go ballistics, gonna keep building units out of the archery range here. Looks like those are gonna be elite skirms. So it's going to turn into a trash and siege battle here for Lyx. Nicov still seems pretty darn committed to building crossbows, which may soon be upgraded. I suppose we'll see. Nicov with an extra gold pile here. Total villager count 107, so he's up by about 20 vills on Lyx. Killed the TC, killed several buildings. Is really way ahead in this game, and now that he's Imperial, he really should be able to crush Lyx. Let's see. Nicov, for the moment, building a castle here in defense. He's going to... Okay, those were villagers garrisoned. Just wanted to see if he was building Samurai, but for the moment, we are not going to see that. We're going to see chemistry, we're going to see bracer and thumb ring here from Nicov, and adding in some trebs as well. Okay, so Nicov will try to keep the pressure on here. He's going to continue to do damage to Lyx. Lyx is mostly building skirms, or might only be building skirms, to try to stop the bleeding. But there's going to be some things to go really well in his favor here in not too long of a time. Lyx does not have a lot of time left. This many villagers behind, 20 vills behind, is really going to start to feel like a huge difference. As Lyx continues to invest in building villagers, and Nicov will soon stop. This will be a good fight for Lyx. Going to send in a couple rams here. Try to grab down this Treb for free. Looks like he'll probably, maybe get the job done. Let's see how fast this Treb packs up and gets out of dodge. Villagers nearby might be very useful here to rush down these rams. We'll have to see. Nope, looks like the mangonel here from Nicov will come back. He's going to lure those rams in. He's got to be really careful. Those rams are awfully close to being able to kill this Treb. Looks like Nicov will lose his Treb, question mark. Villagers coming forward now to rush down the rams, and it's all good in the hood. Okay, so Lyx losing a couple rams. Nicov keeps his Treb alive. Does give Lyx time to establish a few Trebs of his own, and he'll start to Treb down the front there. Try to knock that castle down if he can. But Lyx will give the GG. Nicov sneaking an army of Arbs here. Lyx has nothing to really stop them from killing all of these villagers on gold and on stone. Lyx gives the GG there. Nicov does not. I don't know if he didn't see it. I don't know if he's bitter from game one. Like I said, game one was a broken wreck. But Nicov won that. Nicov lost that game in game one. Here in game two, Nicov will get the win, grabbing some more villagers as well on this back wood line. So a pretty good 1v1 Japanese war. Nicov, the aggressor, able to basically control the game from the feudal age going forward. Lyx tried to build a ton of skirms and just hold the line. He had a very good map to defend. Just had one flank that was too difficult to block off early on. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the game. Sorry if there's different sounds and noises than usual. This is a very different setup for me. But hey, we're getting back on the ball here. Going to make some YouTube content. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Leave me a comment or a like if you did, and I'll catch you next time. This is Killer Beat. Talk to you later. Bye.